Hello.
Oh, is it on?
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Welcome back to the Bro Science podcast. It's been a
Welcome,
while.
everybody.
We've been, just really consolidating our ideas and thinking about things for the podcast.
Hmm.
That's why we've been taking time.
So
Um,
it's been out in our layer,
mm,
learning
and
how to drink mate.
learning how to drink mate. I don't know about. Oh, Martin, nice mate, man. um, but besides from that, today we get back to the fun and lightheartedness of the podcast, or seriousness. And we have a great topic, which is it okay to have a guy best friend if you're a girl, or a girl best friend if you're a guy in a committed relationship? And this comes up as I went on a camping trip with some good friends the other day, and we started talking about this in the car, and a range of other fun topics if we want to touch on those. But we started talking about this, and I think everyone really held a different view, especially dependent on how their past relationships have been and the types of friends they've had outside of that relationship. So it's really interesting to see how your past can impact your opinion. But hopefully, we can be as objective as possible today, even given what we've gone through. So, Martin and Santiago, I'm going to open up the floor to you boys. What do you think?
I was going to go and ask you first, like, what was the consensus you had with your friends? But I guess it is kind of a fun dynamic if we go first. That way,
Mm,
all our ideas are fresh. Um, this whole topic really brings me back to what me and you guys have talked about before on jealousy. Um, I really don't think that it's okay to be jealous at all. Um, and if there's jealousy in a relationship, then that's grounds for a bad like basis or a bad relationship. So really, if anyone's got a problem with their partner being friends with a person of the same sex as them, then it really just I just don't think there's any problem with that because I just don't think that jealousy should be a thing in a healthy relationship.
mm. Martin?
So wait. So to summarize, your opinion is that it shouldn't be a problem at all.
No.
Interesting.
Interesting. Okay, so I would agree with Santi. Like in an ideal world, where everyone was 100% good all the time and no one had any insecurities whatsoever. But I don't think that's the real case most of the time. I think, on the contrary, I think that's the case the least of the times. Um, but having said so, I also I don't have a strong opinion against like guy best friends or girl best friends in particular. I just think it's a thing case by case. There are many cases in which I would be against uh, like either a girl best friend or a guy best friend. But there are also many cases in which I would just say it's fine. Like I don't think there's
Come
I
and
wouldn't put
talk
a
with
clear
us
statement.
in our
Um,
Mm.
I would have to analyze the cases specifically. I think.
See, okay, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works, right? We've, on exchange, we've had friends, right, that have had guy best friends. I'm not going to name who. We've had friends that have had guy best friends and boyfriends back home, and those guy best friends were literally trying to date the girl.
Hmm.
They're just friends, apparently.
Right.
How do you
That's a
feel?
tough one. Um. Yeah, that's a tough one. Um. Yeah. I mean, of course, there's like a tendency for guys to hit on girls that they find attractive, regardless of if they're in a relationship or not. Um, but in my opinion, if if you're the guy in that relationship, then you shouldn't fret. You should or you should just trust that what you've built, the relationship you've built in all its forms is steady enough, and you've taken care of it because you've put on your big boy pants and you've demonstrated to your girl that you love her unconditionally, and
But
and really,
what if you're not there yet?
if you're
Because
not there,
that
no,
does
no,
sound
no,
like a
wait,
super healthy.
yeah. I get it, because your question can also be related to what if. Of course, it's like different scenarios. If you haven't gotten there yet, then yeah, I'd imagine that.
I would argue that most couples don't ever get there, like that healthy, like that level of healthiness. I don't know if that's a word, scenario
Really?
in a couple.
I reckon. I
Wait,
reckon you can get. I reckon you. I reckon it's like the wind and the waves. I reckon you fade in and out with something like that
Yeah,
in
yeah,
most
I think the
relationships.
same. Yeah,
Yeah. So like, yeah, I
so
agree. You don't stay there. It's not like just like a permanent. Ah, you know. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
yeah, that's my opinion.
yeah. No, I'd just say that if your girlfriend's abroad and you've really taken care of her, and you've really like been been aware of what she's up to and like showing interest, then you shouldn't limit what she's doing with her friends, whether they're boys or girls, because you'd be just
Mm,
guessing. You'd be just guessing around like what she's been up to, and just not trusting would be like even worse than if
yeah.
she were to actually be acting on something. If you think she's acting on something, and that's true, then that's just a reason to end the relationship. I just think that
Yeah. I don't know,
I
man.
just yeah,
Oh, man.
it really is a tough one, because when I think of the ideal scenario, then right, I think we all agree that everyone should be able to be friends with people of the opposite sex, regardless if they're in a relationship or
Absolutely.
not. Okay,
Yeah,
we agree on that. Because I'd imagine that a very conservative person like may not even agree on that. But even if you're not in the best relationship, and being realistic, and you're very situational and like picking the whole case,
Yeah.
then I would even then steer towards like trusting your your significant other to like not act on anything while you're in a relationship. It's much better than being like very aware all the time and doubting if they're up to something with their best friend or not.
I agree. That's
You'd be
better.
so like that.
That's not what I'm fighting. Like I agree that's better, and that's like ideal. And I like, of course, there's times that you can think that, but there's also many times that you cannot think that, and maybe for you that's like a deal breaker, and you wouldn't be at all in those kind of relationships or with those kind of person. But I do think most people are in those situations. In most in these kind of things, like.
Yeah. Look, Santi, I actually kind of disagree with you slightly.
Mm,
Um, and I'm really trying to think about this, right? Now, I think like people like you're susceptible to make bad decisions. And the best way to not make bad decisions isn't to just trust, your judgment in every scenario, but it's to set yourself up systematically for wins, I think, right?
That's a
And that's
good
just
point as well.
throughout life, I think. So like let's say if you wanna wake up in the morning and have a cold shower, set yourself up systematically, go to bed early. You don't go to bed late and then wake up early. It's too difficult.
And
Right?
also,
You
you put
can.
an alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, you totally can, but it's harder, right? If you want a healthy relationship with someone, right? I don't think it's smart to have guy friends or girlfriends that are into you. I just don't think it's smart. I think it's setting yourself up for systematic failure. And sure, you can trust the other person, but I want to trust you to set up good boundaries. I don't want to trust you to always teeter the edge, to always be like, oh, is it there? Is it not? You know, I mean, yeah, sure, there's good communication and we can talk through it. And maybe there's a really strong reason why you're friends with this person. Maybe it's because you've been friends since you were born and maybe they've got like really bad mental health issues and you feel like you're there for them or there's something there. But if there's no real reason and they really like you, I'm sorry, but like, that's not, I don't think that's the best play. Like, I wouldn't do it. Like, if I had a girl, like, okay, for example, when I was dating my girlfriend, there was this girl that liked me ages ago, but she didn't anymore. And she was just going through some mental health issues, right? So I was like, oh, I'm just going to go hang out with her. My girlfriend chucked the biggest tantrum ever. Like, I was like, no, I don't care. I'm going to hang out with this person. And in my mind, I justified that because A, I never had any feelings for her, but B, she was going through something. And I think that's reason enough to just put that aside. But if she wasn't, and I'm just hanging out with this person, interesting move. Like, it's not something I'd do, you know?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree with you, Chavi, so much, so
Mm,
much.
Why?
Because I think what Chavi said, it's right. It's right. Like you can always try to get the best out of nothing, but it's always better if you work towards that you want. So, for example, if what I do when I wanna like actually focus on work, super focused and like get the best out of my work, I go to the office because I know I won't have any distractions at all there. When I want to wake up early, I put an alarm. I try to go to bed early. Um, I don't know. When I want to eat healthy, I don't buy shitty food. I just buy healthy food. So
mm.
I do agree
But
on
you,
that.
you but you can't compare a life friend or a new friend that you're really getting along with shitty food. There's like
No, but that's when the case to case analysis comes in. I don't think there's a rule, but I do think, for example, if your girlfriend has a guy friend and this guy friend does have feeling for the girl and your girlfriend knows it, you may know it or not, but your girlfriend knows he has feeling for her, or you know it, but your girlfriend doesn't. Anyway, if he has feeling and you know it somehow or she know it somehow, I don't think it's healthy to keep it around. I don't think it has any purpose more than damage the relationship.
okay. First of all, you're adding a whole new different like um aspect to this conversation that it's if they do, effect like do have feelings for your girlfriend.
Yeah,
They might not,
but
but the first question was like if they'd be friends or not in the first place.
Yeah.
Um, I know that opens up another conversation. Like, can
I
guys
was
and
about
girls
to ask
like
it.
actually be friends so that without like having like sexual
Yep.
feelings? towards
I
it?
mean, does a
But
guy
even then,
always
like,
have that in the back of his mind? Is he
yeah,
like,
that's a very that's a like
th
yeah.
those conversations go hand by hand. They you cannot
I
separate.
know, but even then, without taking that into consideration yet, I just don't think even in the example that you said, where he does have feelings for her, the very first action or the clear answer is to they shouldn't be friends at all. Like I don't think that's taking care of the um that's not taking care of the whole problem. They might like your girlfriend might really care about this person, and there's other measures you can take place, like I don't know, having a lot of reassurance with each other about that nothing's going on, or actually asking for a bit of space. Like what might happen is that the guy might like her, but then also shows it a lot and is very like effective with her and like
yeah,
hugs her, and but then she could have a conversation with them to like step away in those cases.
But
You know?
I agree. That's distance. That's all I'm asking for. Like I'm not saying like throw him away, move to another
Mm.
country, don't see
Mm.
him ever again. I'm saying like
No.
just
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
take it into
What?
account and yeah, like
I
manage
was
it
trying. Yeah.
somehow. Improve the improve the situation
I,
somehow.
I, I completely agree. Yeah, again, we've just now reached like a balance of what I was trying to say and what you guys were trying to say. From your regard or from your guys' perspective, I was like, I thought you just thought they shouldn't be friends altogether, or I don't know, comparing them with like shitty food. Nah, that's just I was messing with you, Martin. But there's uh like you were opposing against them being friends. But then also, I obviously didn't mean that you should just blindly let them be like very close together, especially if you know that they had something going on before or anything. You just need to be uh, cautious and like pay attention and listen and have hard conversations if it's necessary.
Yeah, and I also think it's for sure something related to insecurities. Like if you didn't have any insecurities whatsoever, there shouldn't be any problem with your girlfriend hanging out with a guy she apparently doesn't like, but he does like back. There shouldn't be a problem. But the thing
Right.
is, we all have insecurities, and those situations do makes us feel uncomfortable. And for I think for a relationship of any kind to be healthy, you need to take the other person's insecurities into account and manage them the best way possible.
Right.
That is such a windy road. Like, to become somewhat responsible for someone else's insecurities in any relationship is difficult. I know there's a care there to understand other people's emotions for sure, but to almost become responsible for their insecurities, man. Oh, I don't know if I agree. I don't
But I
know.
really think
I
that
think
that's one of the beauties of having a relationship. Or one of the points of having a relationships in my book is to learn about even insecurities that they might not even know about and try to address it with them.
yeah, to
I think
address
that's
it, yeah, but like not to teeter, like not to step on eggshells around it and then be like, oh,
oh
that's what you're insecure about. Sorry, like nah, like
No, I didn't say that, but
okay, good. Mm.
of course, your girlfriend hanging out with his guy best friend that he has feeling for her. Most guys will get insecure of that, and I don't see
yeah,
that as a bad thing. It's like I think that's a natural feeling.
Yeah,
Um,
really.
yeah,
I agree.
and now we get into the jealousy kind of conversation
Mm.
I don't
because
know.
I do think some level and some kind of jealousy is healthy in relationships.
Okay, let me bring another thing up. Right. I was talking with the guys in the car, right? And one of the guys had, so he had a girlfriend, but he was very close with this other girl, and she's attractive, right? And
Hmm.
they've been best mates for ages, never done anything together, right? So they go to Bali together, and they're sleeping in the same bed, but nothing happened at all. Well, he swears by it, right? What do you think? That's fine.
I would be fine with it, with if it was my girl.
Would you be fine with your girlfriend? Imagine he's like really good looking guy though, like, and he's got a, like a 10-inch dick, like massive. Like, what are we doing about that,
That's
bro?
pretty small
If you stood next to him, you could feel how big his dick
Nah,
is, like huge.
I wouldn't be okay with that.
It's a pretty small dick, man. I don't know.
I think that crosses one of my thresholds.
I'd
I
be
don't think I would be okay with that.
I'd be okay with it.
I
I really
I
would.
know I'd want to be okay with that. Like, I'd actually want to. I'd be like, come on, Zav, you've got to have the presence to be fine with this.
Well,
But I
then,
know
if you want to be
deep
okay with
down,
it, then
oh, something would just like, you know.
okay. No, but wait. If you're saying that, then you're agreeing that uh you shouldn't really care, and you should be
Yeah,
positive
but
towards it.
one thing is what you want to feel, and another different thing, completely
Right.
different thing, is what you actually feel.
So
Yeah, we're talking about real
okay,
life.
just to
In the
understand.
ideal
So
world, it's the God and the monkey. The God side is like, it's fine. Like, I'm so okay with this. Like, life is peace, no matter what situation.
just to
But then,
just to understand your guys' point, you're okay. Like you both agree that it's not okay to feel that way, and you wish you felt like like in another way.
Yeah, if hypothetically they actually don't do nothing and etc. etc. Yeah.
You
But
know
you can't
what?
know that before
Okay.
they sleep together.
Just okay. I think so. There's two. I remember in a relationship, there's always two people, right? There's always two sets of feelings, two sets of actions. Just because so in myself, I should be okay with it. I should actually be okay with it happening and not get me insecure. Because remember, my feelings are my feelings. Insecurity is only gonna hurt me, and it's only gonna like unless I act and
I,
do something.
I, I actually disagree with that a lot.
No, like this is my feelings now. But then there's her actions, and just because I should try and feel secure in myself doesn't mean it's good for her to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, it
just
makes
because,
100% sense.
yeah, just because I should feel okay with it doesn't mean it's like I don't know. Like, what's a scenario? I've done this before. Like,
I'm not
uh,
following.
I'm like, what? I remember, okay, from my last relationship, she'd get angry at me over like some crazy shit. I don't know. And I'd feel fine. I wouldn't let it get me angry because that's my emotions. But is it okay for her to get angry in the first place?
Mm.
Probably not in that scenario. So, like,
So that,
there's two sets of things going on. Just because, like, is it okay for her to sleep in a bed with another dude? Probably not. Like I don't think like man, there's so many beds in the world. There's so many places to sleep. Again, setting yourself up for failure, right? Just don't sleep there. Pretty easy. Man, I've literally slept on rocks for fun. Like you can sleep fucking anywhere. Like don't give me that shit, you know? Yeah. Come on. Like
Yeah,
um
that's another conversation I'd like to have. Like, why, what was the purpose of sleeping with his best friend?
because I don't know, I really wanted. Yeah, what's the reason? Like, there's no really good reason. It's just
just
like,
as
meh, there was a
just like
bed.
there would just like there wouldn't be a good reason for her to sleep with her best friend that's a girl. Like I
True,
just
But
interesting.
but if she was a lesbian, then I would agree that it's the same case. But if she wasn't, then I would be fine. Like
Yeah,
if I
I don't
if I was
agree, man.
gay, I would be more worried of my boyfriend sleeping with another dude than with a girl.
yeah. I mean,
I don't
yeah.
know,
As
man.
like,
I wouldn't be worried in either case.
if I passed out on a bed with a bloke, I don't think my girlfriend would be like, "Ooh, what happened?" I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah, 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 exactly.
I
Like
slept on that side. He slept on that side. Don't worry.
imagine I slept with you, Santi, in a bed. Do you think your girlfriend would be like, "Oh, what did you do?" or whatever, or anyone would think we did anything? Like,
Dude,
I don't know,
Martin's
man.
ass is looking so good, man. I'm telling
we have
ya.
we have spent a lot of time together, Martin. We have spent a lot of time
What are you trying to say, Santi? Is there something I
yeah,
should
but
know?
together.
we haven't
What
done
did you
that.
guys pretend when I was sleeping, huh?
No, I'm just saying. I talk about you a lot with my girlfriend.
But do you think? Okay, okay. Let's set some factual things and let's stop talking about theory and ideal words. Do you think if you slept with Chavi in the same bed and you told your girlfriend, she would ask you, "Did something happen?"
I don't. Just as wait.
Do you
Let me.
think if you slept in a bed with a girlfriend, not your girlfriend, but a girlfriend, she would ask, "Did something happen?"
I do think a natural question would be like, why? I really do
I think
think.
that's that.
Yes, man.
But the
I
communication thing, that's like, I don't think that makes it good or bad at the moment. That's just now the communication side of things, which you should
yeah.
communicate about most things.
Right. So that then a conversation would open up about why, and then you'd be honest, and you'd say,
Yeah, how do you justify that? Oh, what do you say? Yeah, it was a really good sleep.
because
I was cold. I needed a hug.
uh, um,
Something he's just stopped.
what do you even say, man?
Yeah, what do you say, man?
But why would you
Uh,
have to say anything? I don't think. Well, if it were my
I don't think you
case,
should do it. I don't think you should do it in the first place.
well,
yeah.
why not?
No, because there's no
I
reason,
mean,
bro. And this is why you're stumped. Because there's
Because
literally, how are you going to think of a reason to sleep with another girl? Like, what
but
situation brings
okay,
that about?
I
No.
wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I really wouldn't do it because all of these social constructs. Then yes, it would be weird. Yes, I wouldn't have an answer if she were to ask me why I did it. I had no idea. So I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. But
Mm.
if she, what my point is that if she did it, then I wouldn't really mind if she didn't even tell me, because that's how much how much trust I expect out of a relationship I'm in. That's my level of relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm doubting whether she's gonna tell me or not, or if she did it or not. I wouldn't even expect her me telling me if she did.
should
Mm.
we introduce another factor into the conversation?
Oh, Martin with the factors. Yeah, do it. This is going to be the
What if
sickest
there's
regression line ever.
what if there's a holy cross on top of the
What
head?
what
What if Jesus is there?
what
What are you
what
doing?
if what if you know she has cheated in the past with other guys,
Right.
and
I don't think,
she
man.
says she's changed, and you believe her, and you truly believe her, but now she comes with this: I slept with my best friend in the same bed, but nothing happened.
Man,
But
I
you,
don't know if I could be in a relationship with a girl that has cheated on guys before in the past. I don't know.
I
That's
could.
I
just
don't,
it's already difficult. That's already
I don't,
difficult.
yeah, I don't know either. But try to put yourself in that scenario. I think that increments a lot, like the insecurities I would have from her sleeping with any guy,
I
Mm.
even
think
with I don't know.
I think I think I would need more reassurance from her part, but again, you need to trust the person you're with, man. Like
Yeah, it
you
is.
need
I
to
Something's
agree.
believe that
right.
you need to
Mm.
believe that they're able to change as well. Like
I agree. I couldn't agree more, man. But I'm
if
just
you're with
trying to
them, then
put.
you should put all the like you need to trust her 100% and that she's able to change. If not,
Yeah.
you're gonna go through your whole relationship like doubting or thinking that she's not
Yeah,
good enough to improve in that sense.
yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. I'm just trying to put like the most
Mm,
like
extreme example.
general and real and different um real life case scenarios.
Yeah,
Mm.
because if you were to put me in a actually very real example that they have had something before, like let's say they've had something before and now they're just friends.
Or that, for example,
That
that's
I
another
think that'd be
case.
the I think that'd be the hardest for me to understand if they slept together. Like yeah, I just wouldn't understand. I think in that scenario, out of respect, I would not sleep with a person that I've had something before.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go back to the base
Well,
case scenario.
sorry, before we do that, I've had this conversation really recently with my current girlfriend. I've or Walker. Remember each other? Last podcast reference. And
Oh, you
all
guys
we
do a
really
podcast
said,
last week?
no, man, the Walker, like what we say in Chile for someone that's not your girlfriend yet.
Oh yeah, the Walker. Yeah, sorry, my bad,
Yeah, no,
my bad. And the bald guy. My bad,
but
my bad.
ball guy, el pelado. And what the word that came up in this conversation uh was like reassurance and if and like yeah, just constantly because it just happens that my walkers in a group of friends where my ex is Um, so I see this like most weekends, and
You see your ex most weekends.
with my walker,
Okay.
and
Well, okay, for me, the unintelligible, Walker, is that like the person you was courting, or like,
what the fuck's courting, man?
oh, like
Like a person
you
you're
were seeing
recording?
each other, doing a little bit of saucy stuff on the side, and then it never happened, kind of thing.
No, no,
Like
Walker's
the person you're seeing.
you're dating, yeah.
So she was, yeah, okay, right.
She's my girlfriend, man. Let's just say she's my girlfriend.
Oh no,
Let,
I thought you're, whoa, okay, no, continue.
let's hope she doesn't
Yeah.
listen to this podcast yet though.
Oh. Like, Santi, you
uh,
freaking asked me to be your girlfriend over podcast, you bloody.
well, hey, that's
Oh,
actually
it's
not
so
so bad
romantic.
considering my very first girlfriend when I was 16, I asked her to be my girlfriend on Skype. At least that was live. This would be a step back. Like,
Bro, but you didn't invite her to the podcast, man. Relive
should I?
16-year-old Santi.
Who was your
So,
girlfriend at 16, man? I thought your first one was at 18.
yeah, it was just a 2 month old really or 2 month relationship. It was a pretty
Mm.
like it was like good times, man. Like she would ask me if we could spend more time together during recess, and I'd be like, "Sorry, babe, got football, got soccer to play."
Wait,
like
wait.
every 15-minute recess break, I would go straight to the pitch, and she'd be like, "Just give me one recess," and I'd be like, "Sorry." Um,
Mm.
Not happening.
Deal breaker, man. Deal breaker.
not happening now. What was I talking about?
And now
Um,
Santi's like, can you
oh,
give
so
me one
yeah.
more minute? She's like, nah, I just need to go. I'm sorry. Santi's like, come on, man.
And then
Hey, you were talking
I
about
get back
what you
all
were
sweaty.
talking with your girlfriend
Right. So what we've been talking about this whole time has happened to me this past few weeks.
and that
I
you're seeing
go,
your
I
ex often.
yeah, my in my group of friends in uni, my ex is there, and then there's my walker. And there's and they're sort of friends, like between them, sort of friends. And then there's a big group of friends, and we go out partying, and so yeah, we really had a conversation the other day that was really good of how, and it was very much how I expected to be between like um two people in a relationship. Just be clear about like, okay, I noticed that your ex is here, um, and she told me what she expected of me. So I don't want to get too much into detail, but it was just
Yeah.
mainly reassurance and like not being dumb about the space you give like to your ex. Like, of course, you're not
Yeah.
gonna be like,
Isn't that all that we're talking about now?
yeah. So that's yeah, and that's what I've said a lot because that conversation really went how I would have liked it to go and what I expected for a relationship. That's why I've been saying reassurance and space
Yeah,
and
good.
But
Mm.
what I understood from at least your first point was that in your head, your like you would like for her to trust you enough so you could like do anything kind of with her. No, not anything, but like talk extensively and sleep with her in the same bed and
Mm.
but not nothing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, see, my point in this is that trust is again the center of any relationship, like you, Santi. But when you're trusting someone in this scenario, it's not, for me, it's not trusting someone not to act in difficult situations. It's trusting someone to set the right boundaries. I think
Hmm.
that's it. It's trusting,
Exactly. Yeah.
like,
I think you said it
because
perfect.
she trusted you, right? And you guys talked about it. She trusted you. And then you had enough care for her, your girlfriend or the walker, to be like, you know what? I don't need to spend this much time with my ex-girlfriend. I know who I care about. I know how it would make her feel, and I'm putting her feelings first. So no, like, that's, to me,
But
that's the ideal.
right, I completely agree with you. I think you said it perfectly. And just to add, now I'm the coordinator of like a department of like the student council, whatever. And she, my girl. Thanks, man. And then she is like my walker is like above me in that she's part of the directive.
Ooh,
What's how do
your
you say?
boss.
How do you call it? Like, yeah, well, the
Your boss.
organizers of the whole thing. Um, and then she
I'm
was
gonna
like,
give you an order.
my whole point is that like this sums it up perfectly. She was the first to like abide for me to be co-coordinators, like co-chiefs, co-coordinators of this
Hmm.
department with my ex. So
Wow.
she's on one hand,
What? Go back. I didn't follow.
me and my ex are in charge of this department, part of the student council.
Really?
And just recently, and my walker was one of the people that, you know, um,
It was okay.
gave her okay, and like thought it was a perfectly good idea, or not because we're exes, but just a good idea considering the people we are. So that just goes to say, like, um, from on one hand, you're talking about space and reassurance, but on the other, you're not letting that space and reassurance keep me like back from progressing or
Yeah.
developing like she trusts me enough to be on constant communication with my ex,
Yep.
but knowing that I'll be doing it for this purpose in particular. So
Yeah.
that's what I look for in a relationship. Like
Yep.
that's why the first premise, which um, is it okay for a guy to be friends with a girl, considering they're in a relationship? I think it's perfectly fine if you have this sort of balance.
Hmm.
But you have to have it.
The conversations and the balance.
The conversations, the balance, the boundaries, everything.
It's good.
In that case, I agree. Um, yeah, I agree with that.
Hmm. Yeah, so do I. Well, boys, we all
Let's all
agree
go
for
sleep.
once.
Let's all
Wild.
Yeah, no man, and that we just proved we the three of us can sleep together. Nothing might happen.
That's
You don't
how
know.
you know you got a healthy relationship when you can
Nothing
sleep with your
might
best
happen.
mates.
It's less
Huh?
likely for less likely for something to happen. Probably,
Hmm.
or anyone to ask if anything happened.
Yeah. Pretty. Yeah. Look.
If that's it,
We'll keep it a secret. Don't worry.
But I swear I heard rustling in the tent that night. I swear. I don't know what was going on.
oh man, it was
Thought it was the wind, but nah, something was like, Martin,
it
we're
was
on.
the porks, the porks outside.
Uh,
The frogs.
nah, it's good. It's good. I think
Okay,
we've pretty much
should
done.
we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Wait,
Santi,
what?
man, I
That
feel
was
like you should wrap this up.
Yeah,
that
you
went
should
by really
wrap this.
fast, man. Well, that's no, I was just thinking of the thing we proved in the end. That was real science, man. You can sleep with your bros.
That's
That
Definitely
was
something.
not.
real science.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow, what a
That's
That's
huge,
discovery.
man.
yeah. We've
I, was,
just gone
I
on.
used to be I used to be nervous. I'm like, what if she thinks this? Sleeping with guys, but
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
oh, now
I'm
it's
gonna,
so easy.
I've got plans for this weekend. Right, guys. It's nice talking to you. Thanks everyone for listening, and see you next week on the next episode of Bro Science. See you
Remember,
guys.
set boundaries, have the talk. Bye bye.
Sleep with your bros. Sleep with your
Yeah.
bros. Bye.